Yes, guys, so we will begin very shortly. Yes, so guys, we will start now. Hello everyone and good evening. I, Kalyani Desai, welcome you all to this event of Web with Firebase, our first event, that is getting started with HTML and CSS from our Google Developer Students Club, Kukli College of Engineering. As you can see, we are back with yet another event of Firebase. But this time we have much more skills for you, like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Angular as well. And not only this, but you will be building some live projects using all these technologies. Interesting, right? Believe me, you guys, you're gonna love it. And if you feel unfamiliar or want to know more about Firebase, we already have a video explaining what Firebase is. So do check it out. Now moving ahead to our speakers. Yes, so let us welcome Purnima Mahajan, who is our tech team member, Tejasri Jagtap, who is our events team member, and our designing lead, Sarvesh Joshi. Moving ahead, for our today's agenda, yes, so we will be covering some important points such as timeline of the event, learning technologies, and also guidelines for building the projects as well as submission of the projects. And then we will also be covering some hands-on session of HTML and CSS. I know you guys want this session to start already, so let's jump right into it.
Hi, Purnima here. So let's talk about timeline of Web with Firebase event. In this series, we have scheduled 3 sessions for you. Current one is HTML and CSS. Today's session will focus on HTML and CSS. And second session is JavaScript and Angular, which will be conducted on 9th of May. And our last session for this event, Firebase with Web, which will be on 12th of May. We have incredible team of folks to guide throughout this event. So, as you can see on screen, our event has begun from today, that is 7th of May, and it will be up to 12th of May. Now, let's go on next segment of our interaction, which is Slido. Hello everyone, we are back.
Hi, this is Tejasri Jagtap.
Let's take a quick poll, and I hope everyone participate actively. So, so that we can get to know each other much better.
And the process is quite simple. Just scan the QR code visible on your screen, or else you can type the pin available on the screen, that is 886186.
Hurry up, guys. We want more participants.
Let's have some interesting session, guys. Participate in it quickly.
Be interactive.
Feel free to discuss anything. If you're facing any problem, just put it in your chat box.
We want more responses.
I hope everyone is joining. Just enter the pin or else scan the QR code, guys. Buck up. Okay, let's get started, guys. Moving
Let's
on.
begin with our first question.
Can we have the first question? So, our first question is, in which year are you studying? And the quick poll is already responding. People are responding. And majority of them are for the second year. Great, great. We have some third year. Then
Well,
we have third or first year. Okay, so majority of people are from second year. Yes, second year are much more excited.
yes,
So are
second year.
we.
We are
Okay,
also
moving to the
from
next
second year.
question. Describe your web development knowledge in one word. Oh, we have some pro, ultimate. Oh, we have Bhagwan and Babs. Okay, great, great. We have some pro players in it. Don't worry, we'll be there to help you. Some intermediates. You'll learn a lot
Yes.
from this session, guys.
Yeah.
Nice. So
Intermediate.
majority of them are intermediate.
Intermediate.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's get to a third question.
This was our last question of this Slido. How excited are you for this
This
event?
event. Come on, we will see how excited people are. Oh, the poll has started responding, and yes, it's
Oh,
70%, 71%. Nice, great.
great
So are
response.
we excited and looking forward?
Are you excited?
Yes, people are already excited, and I think this is great. People are excited, and so are we.
It was incredible. Thank you guys for joining us, and it's time to move on next part of event. Now I'm handing over floor to the Tejasri.
Yes, thank you, Purnima. Okay, so moving on, let's discuss about the learning technologies that will be delivered for this study jam. Our web stack includes HTML, CSS, Firebase, Angular, and JavaScript. Talking about HTML, HTML is a hypertext markup language. HTML describes the structure and layout of a web page. Some applications of HTML are web page development, internet navigation, and web document creation, etc. CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS is used to define styles for our web pages and including the designs, layout, and variations in display for different devices and screen sizes. Talking about Firebase, Firebase gives you a complete solution of how things can be taken down. It enables with real-time database. Also, Firebase you can do all sort of authentication. Now JavaScript. JavaScript is a high level interpreted programming language used to make web pages more interactive. It lets you implement complex and outstanding designs on web pages. Talking about Angular, Angular is a client-based open source front-end framework which is used to build custom applications in CSS, and HTML, and TypeScript. Angular is a leading framework for building JavaScript heavy single page web applications.
So guys, we will be creating a small project uh, for these study jams. We have planned to create a to-do web application for you all. Our web expert will create a to-do web application live in this session. Make sure you follow and do the same. Towards the end of campaign, you all have to submit your web applications. Now, moving to our next slide. Yes, let's more talk about project and go over guidelines. This task involves you design to do web applications using HTML, CSS, and Firebase as your backend. Within these 3 sessions, you will learn all these programming languages on how to develop or to do web applications. Now, going forward, let's talk about submit how to submit your web applications. We have designed some guidelines for submitting your projects to us. Create create an account GitHub if you don't have already. Create a new repository and make that repository public. Upload your code to this repo and host this using GitHub pages. Lastly, fill out the Google form to provided by us to host your website. I hope you all aware of our project. Now we will go on the most awaited part of event which Kalini will address.
Yeah, so Tejasri has already told us what HTML is. So without wasting much time on the theory part, let us jump directly into some hands-on sessions. Yeah, okay. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Yeah, okay. So I would highly suggest you all. We will be using the Visual Studio Code, of course, for this session, and I will highly request you all guys to install these extensions for HTML and CSS and Live Server. So the HTML and CSS extensions give you additional functionalities as well as they provide additional libraries. And the live server, it actually is helps you in a way that it will create a port for your web page on the local network which you are connected to, so that all the devices connected on that network, your web page can be accessed from them. So let's get into code. Now, as you can see, we already have our boilerplate. You don't need to type this code at all. If you've already installed these extensions, you need to just type this exclamation mark and hit enter, and this code will be directly typed for you, ready for you. So now let's see what we have here. We have our HTML tag with the attribute language, which is of course English. Then inside the head section, we have this meta tags. Now metadata is nothing but data about data. So these meta tags tell us data about our HTML document. So first attribute is character set, in which we have assigned to UTF-8. Now what is this UTF-8? It basically consists of all the symbols and characters which can exist. So you will never get an error on using any one of them. Next, we have the name attribute, and which is assigned to viewport. Now what is viewport? As the name suggests, the view which the user gets of the screen is nothing but the viewport. Moving forward to the content attribute, in which we have set the width to the device width. Now your web page can be opened on a laptop or phone or tablet or on any device. So we want our web page to be adjusted to the width of that particular device. That's why we have set the width equal to device width. And finally, we have the initial scale, that is 1.0. Initial scale means the initial level of zoom which you will see when you will open the web page. Okay, so this is the head part, and we will directly move to the body part now. Before moving, I want to tell you about two important things which we will be using a lot in our code. So the first one is the division tag, that is the div tag. Now why do we use it? As the name suggests, div tag is used to divide your web page into different divisions, which can be according to your design or requirements. And the second attribute which we will be using a lot is a class. Class is basically used for styling purposes. Inside a class, we assign a class name to a group of elements or tags. So that group of elements under that class name can be manipulated very easily using CSS. Okay, so now as we are going to make a to-do list, let us first edit our title to to-do list. All right, now inside body, let us create our first division. That is, and we will give it a class name called wrapper, which will wrap all our content inside this big class. So yeah, this is our first division. Now first, let us input some logos or icons to make our website much more interactive. So let me tell you about this awesome website called Font Awesome. Okay, you can go to fontawesome.com, and I have signed in, so you need to sign in as well, and it will provide you your kit code. Now go to your kits here. Okay, now let us go to free icons to access all the free icons here. Okay, so now as we link our CSS style sheet to our HTML page, in the same way, we need to copy this code to link the Font Awesome to our web page. So we'll copy this code and paste it inside our head section. Now you can basically access any icon from Font Awesome website into your page. So let's go to icons and see some relevant icons if we can find some. Yep, so let us see if we can get some. Okay, this looks quite relevant, so let us use this. As you can see here, you can also get various types of versions of that icon. So we just need the solid one. So you just need to copy this code here and paste it where you want your logo to appear. Yeah, as easy as that. Cool, right? So if you want to see how our logo is looking, if you have installed the extension of live server here, you will get an option of go live. So let's go live. Yes, as you can see on your left corner, we have our icon. Okay, let's move ahead now. Moving further, Now we want the user to input his tasks. That's why we need to create an input field. So we'll create an input field using the input tag. And we want the type of the input to be equal to text. And let's also add a placeholder. Now what is a placeholder? Placeholder basically tells you or the user what type of content he needs to put in that input field. So let us add here, add your task. Okay, so if you want to see how this placeholder looks, let us see. As you can see here, we have our input field and you have this placeholder here. The moment I write something here, you can see that the placeholder has disappeared because it has done its work of telling the user what to type in. Moving ahead. Now after input field, we need to add some functionalities like some options, some buttons. So let us create a different division for it. We can call it controls. Okay. Now inside controls, let us first add some filters to filter out your tasks. We can add filters such as all tasks or pending tasks or completed tasks. So first let us create another division for your filters. Okay, good to go. Now let us create our filters using the span tag. Now what is a span tag? So span is actually an inline tag and its basic use is to separate elements. So we will be separating our filters using the span tag. So inside, let us give it a name. Let us give it an ID. Okay, so what is an ID? ID is very similar to a class. The only difference is that class can be applied to many elements, but ID is pretty unique for the whole document. At most, one element is only applicable with ID. So let us give it an ID name, all. And our first filter is all. And we'll have 3 more filters like this. The second one will be pending one. And finally, let's have the completed tasks. Good to go. Now, whenever you will load the web page, you want any one of this filter to be selected by default. That is, one filter should always be active. So let us keep this all filter active filter. So we can add a class to it to design it separately than other two filters called as active. Okay, we're good. We are almost done. Now let us take an hypothetical situation that you have completed all your tasks or you're so tired that you want to just remove all the tasks from your task list. For such an situation, let us create a button of clear all. So to create a button, we can use the button tag and we will give it a class called clear button. Okay, and the text to be displayed on button should be clear all. Okay, now let's see how we are doing until now. Okay, as you can see, we have our logo, we have our input field, we have all our filters as well as the button. You can click on it as well. Okay, now I guess we are almost done. Now the only thing remaining is a task box where we will have a list of all the tasks which the user will input. So let us create a task box. First, let us create a list for all the tasks to be displayed. Okay. So let us create an unordered list using the UL tag. And let us give it a class, or rather no need. Let us give it a class called task box. Okay, now so to design this task box, it is a little bit of CSS and JavaScript is required. So in the next upcoming events, you will see how you can design this task box. Okay, so we are pretty done for the HTML part. Now let us check out our final output. Yeah, so this is our final output. I know it is not attractive at all. So my fellow speaker Sarvesh will do some magic on it of CSS and will transform this into a beautiful website. Okay, so I know now you're a little bit fed up with the code. So let's get refresh you with some Kahoot questions. Handing over to Purnima and Tejasri again. Thank you.
Hello guys, we are back. I'm Tejasri here.
And I'm Purnima. So let's have some refreshment through this amazing quiz.
Okay, this Kahoot is really gonna be fun, okay? Most of you guys are familiar with Kahoot, right? And not to worry for the new participants as we are there to guide you. And the steps are very simple. Just type Kahoot on your Google or else scan the QR code which will be visible on your screen. And
Yes.
there it is.
You can also enter this game pin, which is 2803107.
Just enter this pin, guys. We are waiting. Enter the pin 2803107. We have our first participant, Vedant. Hello, Vedant. Aditya
We
Halish.
want more
Okay.
competitors.
Buck up,
Yes.
guys.
Hurry up.
We need to get started. Yes, that's the spirit. Nikita Rane,
Bhakti.
Bhakti Sonane.
Hurry up. Join in fast.
We are waiting, guys. Yes, we can have our participants. Riddhi Dalal,
Kalyani.
hurry up, guys. We want some more participants, guys. Fast.
We will just wait for some more competitors now.
We'll begin with it. If you're facing any difficulty, just feel free to put it in your chat box.
Hurry up. I'm so excited.
I hope everyone is joining.
We are waiting for you. Hurry up.
Buck up, guys. Enter the pin 2803107 or else scan the QR code. We'll be starting shortly.
We want competitors.
This is a
You
fun
guys
quiz,
are so
guys. We'll
excited.
be having fun. Hurry up, guys.
Buck up. Hi Prerna.
Okay, so
Yes.
let's get started with our first question.
What does the abbreviation HTML stands for? Hypertext Markup Language, High Text Markup Language, Hypertext Markdown Language, and none of the above. It's very simple. Be quick.
Be quick, guys. Answer it correctly. And the correct answer is hypertext markup language. I just
Yes.
mentioned it before. Let's see who has answered correctly. And the scoreboard is led by Kalyani with 889 points, followed by Vedant and Siddesh. Okay, great going, guys. Let's move to our next question.
Next question.
What is the smallest header in HTML by default? Is it H1, H2, H3, or H6? This is really simple, guys. You need to answer it correctly. Let's see. Hurry up, hurry up.
Hurry up, hurry up.
And
Yes.
majority of them have answered it correctly. Let's see our
Huh.
scoreboard. Again,
Oh,
Kalyani is leading, followed by Vedant and Ayush. Okay, great
yes.
going.
We can. How to create an order list in HTML.
Hurry up, guys. These are very basic questions, okay?
UL tag, OL tag.
And the correct answer is OL tag. Let's see who have answered it correctly. And it's a shuffle. Vedant has led the scoreboard by 2299 points, followed by Ayush. Great. Okay, so our next question is CSS stands for. Again, it's a very simple one, and the options are cascade style sheet, cascading style sheets, color and style sheets, or none of the above. And you need to answer this correctly, guys. Yes, and the correct answer is cascading style sheets. Let's see
Yes.
who have answered correctly. Again,
Can
Vedant
see the
is
score.
leading with 3101 points. Okay, now it's your last chance for to score. So we have a last question. Dash is used to change background color of an element is. You can see the options on your screen. Answer it correctly, guys. And the correct answer is background color. Let's see who is leading. And we have our three winners. Third is Suhani. Second is Daddy. Okay. And let's see who has grabbed the first position. Vedant.
Oh,
Oh, congrats,
yes.
Vedant. Congrats to our three participants. We had a great time with our enthusiastic participants. Now let's move to the next part of our excitement. And further part will be driven by Sarvesh.
Yes, thank you so much, Tejasri. So let's get to the back to the session, and I'll tell you something about CSS. The CSS stands for the cascading style sheets. It describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on a screen, paper, or other media you are using. It saves a lot of work as it can control the layout of the multiple pages all at once. It is used to define styles for your web pages, including the design, layout, variation in display for different devices, and more importantly, different screen sizes. So I'll not bore you guys. Let's get right into the code. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Yes, it is visible. We have this HTML code that my dear friend Kalani typed it first. It's a really nice code with really nice classes. Thank you, Kalani. So for starting, we'll use external CSS. You are when you get to the code editor, use this sign for starting a new file. New file, we'll name it style.css. Remember the .css extension. I'll just slide it here so we can have our HTML file as reference. Okay, and as you guys can see, we have imported our CSS file in here. It's called link style sheet and href for the linking file and style.css. Okay, to start with, we'll first import a Google font. So how to import a Google font? Go to the Google and type Google font. Go. Let's see if suppose you want this font. Click on it, and this is the menu where you can import a font by its weight. Font weight means the boldness of the font. I have added these from 400 to 700. Here you can find the link to import it. So, style tag. We don't use style tag. It is not necessary as we have created a separate CSS file. We'll just copy this from here and import it here. See, simple as that. And we have a Google font. I'll just add a comment here. This is a imported Google font. Then we will use the universal selector. What is a universal selector? Universal selector is represented as asterisk. Uh, at the start of the CSS, we use it to reset the margin and padding of certain browsers. Everyone uses different browsers, so we just reset it. We set it to 0. That's why it is also called as CSS reset. So let's start with the margin, set it to 0, and padding also set it to 0. This is the CSS reset. Now after this, whatever we add, it will be applied to the whole document. So first we imported the font, so we'll have to apply it. Wait, see here we have the code for it. CSS rules to specify the families. So we'll just copy it from here. Control C and Control V. Nice. So now for the whole document, the pop-ins will be applied. And for the last property, we'll use box sizing and border box. What will this do? It will apply a nice border to all of your elements. So you can use different properties like solid borders, or you can apply shadows to them. We'll see it later on. Now the body. Wait. First we'll go live. I hope Kalani has explained the live server extension. It is really useful. Let's delete this. Yes. It is looking little messed up, but don't worry. We'll apply some magic to it. Yes. Now getting back to this, well, some body, a body tag. What body tag does, it will apply to the whole body section. We don't use any dot or a hash for predefined tags. We just declare them. So we'll add width of 100%, say percent, and also height of 100% maybe. And the important thing, overflow. Now, what is overflow? Suppose you have a card declared, suppose it's 100 pixels, and you have a lot of text in it, and it is flowing out of the box. So what overflow does, overflow adds certain parameters. I have declared a hidden parameter here, so it will hide all the stuff out of the box, and that is really useful, trust me. So add some background color. But let's add some background gradient. I hope everyone is introduced to the gradient concept. We'll use some. I'll tell you how to find gradients. Just Google. If you get stuck anywhere, use Google. Just Google like free gradients CSS. Go to the random link, and suppose I like this one, so I'll grab it. Copy the hex code. Get back to the code, and I'll apply linear gradient, and then the hash code, hash, the code, comma, and another color, hash code again. And I think we are done for now. Let's see the website. Okay, it is looking pretty. We'll use height 100 VH. Now, what is VH? VH is viewport height. That is, every device has certain viewports according to their screen sizes. So this is what it does. It adjusts the height of the property to the viewport. Let's see now. Okay, it is good, but we can add some nice touch to it by giving it an angle. Let's see, 135 degrees maybe. Yes, it's looking really nice now. Okay, let's get to this selection part. That is, whatever you select in the code will be highlighted by these properties. Add some text color. Color that is hex code of, let's say, triple F, some slight whitish maybe, and background of, we have pre-described our colors. Okay, don't use much color, to be honest. It just messes up the whole document. Okay, now let's get to the HTML document. What we have here, we have a class of wrapper. Okay, wrapper. Let's see what inside the wrapper. Okay, everything is at wrapper. Nice. Then we'll set a max width. Max width of, let's say, 400 pixels. When you get to the further parts, you use pixels more and more fewer times. There will be more units like ems, rems. We'll discuss that in further events. And padding. For all those guys who don't know the difference between the padding and margin, I'll tell you. Padding is the internal space from the inside of the box, inside of the div, you can say, and margin is the space from outside. And we'll add some margin. Okay, margin. Just any questions do we have? If you have any questions, you can ask them. Okay. Let's add margin of 137 pixels. And what this multiple parameters represent? Multiple parameters represents as different axes. Like if there are two parameters, there will be top, bottom, and left, right. So this is the 137 pixels from top and bottom, and auto from left, right. I hope everything is visible to everyone. Just a second. Okay, we have added margin. Let's see what we can add more. See, it is now in center. Let's add some border radius. Border radius will make the borders slightly curved. Let's add a slight curve of 7 pixels and some drop shadow. The drop shadow is represented by the box shadow. Just a second. Box shadow, let's say 0 pixels with 10 pixels of width and 30 pixels of spread, and a nice color of black, RGBA. What RGBA stands for is red, green, blue, and alpha. In designing section, whenever you see the alpha word in any designing platform or any designing software, alpha means transparency. 0 stands for black, and alpha will set it to maybe 0.1. Okay, let's add a background to it. Nice background. Add white background. Background. Not add white. Never use white. Pure white. Okay, now it's looking good. If you can't see the drop shadow, I'll zoom in for you. See, there is slight drop shadow here, because if we increase it too much, it might also mess up the document and the design as well. If you want to make it visible for some time, well, I'll make it 1. See, it is messing up the document. So that's 0.1. Yeah, nice. And then let's see, what do we have next? We have task input. Okay, then the class of task input. We declare the task in CSS, classes in CSS by using dot, and IDs by using hash. Parent it with the top of 50%, and positioning. This is a very important attribute. Absolute. It will adjust its position according to the parent. Using an absolute property, it will not change its position according to the viewport. And then we will use transform. Transform is the property which uses its different attributes to transform a certain element. Suppose we can say we have perspective transform or scale transform. It will change its scale. Then the rotation transform, it will change its rotation, and we can give some time to it, or any many more properties. We can see it. We will see it later on. Now we will apply the translate. What translate will do? Translate will move it slightly by 17 pixels in x-axis by minus 50%. We'll add minus 50%. Let's see. Okay, it is looking nice. Wait, hold on a second. That is to the I section. task input at some height of say 52 pixels and padding for the left and right section. We don't need padding for the text, and for top bottom, let's see, maybe 25 pixels is good. Yep, 25 pixels is good. And we'll use position again. We're using position tag again. We'll use this time relative. By using relative, it will adjust its position to the default with the viewport. Okay, now we have I tag. We have declared some properties for the I tag. Okay, let's see then what tags other we have. We have input tag. Okay, input tags represents this text box and the icon. Okay, we'll need to adjust that. It's looking a little messed up now, but don't worry, we'll get to it with time. Let's learn about the targeting a certain tag inside a tag. Like we have the input tag inside a tag with class of task input, right? So we will target the task input, and there we have input tag, right? So whenever the input tag is in focus, this property will be activated, and as well as you can apply same properties to the multiple tags or IDs using comma. We'll just use comma and task input and input dot active. We have declared an active class to it in the HTML file. You can see it. Apply some properties. If you have any questions, you can ask it. I will answer it. I know this may be too much for someone, but don't worry, we're here to help you. 52 pixels of padding and border of say 2 pixels of border is okay. Solid, that is color, and we'll use color, predefined color. May give you a little headache at start that we have to declare the colors again and again, we have to type the colors again and again, but that's when it comes JavaScript. You just declare them once and everything changes. Input we'll use, and what we have placeholders. So the input placeholders. Let's see, we'll change it is really dark. We'll change its color to light. You can find all of these hex codes on Google, or you can create your find your own hex codes, find your favorites, add them to your favorites. You will get used to it, you will remember it with the time. I have remembered some, like this is a slight gray. See, now the add new task is not visible 100%, or you can just declare the black. See, I'll tell you, you can just declare the black, and see, it is completely black, and decrease or increase its opacity after, but I don't like it, and it is not a great practice. We have lists in the controls tab. So dot control second control and the list index. We'll apply a flex box is a mode of arrangement you can apply. You can apply it by display flex. It will arrange the elements inside the div according to the properties we give. We'll apply align items center. Okay, and justify content. What justify content does? Justify content will adjust the content according to the property. Here we have applied the center, so it will analyze the total content you have given and it will adjust its position to the exact center with x and y axis both. So then we have controls, padding of, let's see, maybe 18 and 25 pixels. Let's see the document. Okay, it's good. And border bottom, that's some bottom border of 1 pixel. Solid. And color, let's see, a slight gray. Okay, yeah, some of the classes may not make sense right now, but when you apply the JavaScript you'll get to it, why I'm doing this and why the HTML and CSS are made that way. Filters, okay, span, we'll target the span tag. Okay, first let's just apply for the filters first. Margin of you won't need much margin for the filter, so 0 and 8 pixels. Then font size, let's increase the font size to 17. The default font size is 16 pixels. Add some more to it. And the color, let's go for the color to a little bit of gray. Yep, and change the cursor to pointer as its selection. So we'll add a cursor to pointer. Whenever it is hovered, it will change the cursor to pointer. Okay, add filters, span tag, targeting the span tags now. Finally, scroll down a little bit, just wait. Yep. Filters, okay, now add margin. Just a second. Adding the filters. Okay, right. Span, target the spans, then let's add the first child. Something to the first child. Whenever the entry will come, we'll apply something to it. Just a second. Let's see the code here. Something's going wrong. Everything goes wrong at some point, guys. Don't just be a programmer, be a problem solver. Create problems, solve them. That's how this field works. Okay, I don't think there is any problem here, but let's see. We'll use the inspect tab to get to know here. Task input, there is something with task input. Okay, let's add some property to the input so we can solve the problem. Task input and input. Target the input tag. Height of 100% and width of 100%. Reset its outline to none, and some font sizing maybe. Yep, some font sizing. Let's say 18 pixels, a little bigger from the before. Then border radius again, we made it 7 pixels. We'll add it 5 pixels for now. Add some padding different for each side, that is, let's say 0, 20 pixels, then again 0 and 50 pixels, different for each side. And border for touch 1 pixel, border solid, and a little gray border maybe. Okay, it's looking nice. Let me take a... Yes. Now we are... I hope everything is good. Looking good, everyone. Okay, let's see. Now we have what we covered. We covered filter spans. What is the next of span tag? Okay, let's add something for JavaScript. When we add JavaScript, we'll declare it now. Let's see, filters span active class. Child. First child, for the first child, when for the first entry, you can say, we'll add some margin. For the left side, 0. Okay, let's see. We have yes. Okay, give a thumbs up if you're getting everything I'm saying. Give a thumbs up. Okay, let's go to active tag. Okay, dot filters. We'll say we'll target dot filters and span tag, and whenever it is active, when the span tag activates, spelling mistake, sorry, active, we'll change its color to one of a declared color. Let's take this one. Do we have any questions till now? Okay, and then let's see, moving on to the next tag, which is a button. Okay, it is inside a controls tag. Okay, controls, and then dot clear. Okay, we have to work on this button. Okay, let's set its border to none, and then so outline to none. Keep checking your progress. Yes, it's good. Hold on a bit. We'll set its text color to plain black. Let's add black, and then the button. No, so cursor, pointer. Then decrease some font size, maybe font size 13 pixels. Okay, then add some padding of, let's see, top bottom 7 pixels and left right 13 or 15. So 13 pixels. Okay, everything good till now. Adding some border radius 5 pixels. Let's say 5 pixels. Okay. There are tiny changes, but it changes the web page a lot. Adding some spacing of 3 pixels. Then what should we add pointer events? We can add it in JavaScript also. Let's skip that part. Let's go again to transitions. We'll make an ease transition. We can transform and 0.25 seconds with ease. It will ease in and ease out as there are any transformations or transitions we may declare further. So add some background, nice background. It's a button, no? Background, let's see. It's a gradient. The same gradient we mentioned above, 135 degrees. And the hex code, let's copy them from above. We'll copy these hex codes. Copy. This is not cheating, by the way. Let's add some opacity. It will start from 0% to into 100%. Okay, that's it for the button, I guess. Let's see. Okay, it's looking really nice, to be honest. Let's do add some margin. Okay, let's use some clear button, and when it is active class, active, it'll decrease its opacity maybe a little. You can add opacity class. We have something, yes. Yeah, we'll add the opacity class. Opacity varies from 0 to 1. 1 is 100%. The more you decrease, the more it will become transparent. And pointer events, we'll add some pointer events. We'll set them to auto for now. We'll change it when we get to the JavaScript. Okay, let's add some scaling property. Let's just scale, transforming scale by, let's see, 0.995. will take 0.95. Then okay, I think we are done for the clear button. I know CSS is too much, but trust me, it is the best thing you can have to your website. Let's go to the task box. Okay, task box. Let's add some margin to the top and right. Top margin to 20 pixels and margin right of, let's see, okay, we can have questions there. Okay, 5 pixels, and then some padding of different files. So 20 pixels, just like before. Again 0 and 25 pixels. We applied it before. I guess it's enough for task box. And when there is an overflow, so task box overflow. Overflow, and then overflow for y-axis. I already explained what overflow is. Like overflow y means overflow in y-axis. We'll set it height of max 300 pixels. Okay, is we are halfway there, I guess, but don't worry, we'll do it really nicely and it will look amazing, trust me. Okay, let's change the scroll bar. Let's not change the folder. We'll keep it as it is. Okay, then task box, task. Any questions? Not till now. Okay. Task box, we have this style. Let's this style to none. They look pretty amazing if the styles are default. Font size to 17 pixels, a pixel larger. Top margin, bottom, let's see, 18 pixels, and some padding also to the bottom. Let's see, 16 pixels is enough, I guess. I added only to bottom. If we add it to the whole box, it will go to the top also. We don't want the list to start with a tremendous space, so we add it to the bottom. It will apply to the bottom. Same for the second, third child, and nth child. Items to the start of the flex box, and border bottom. Add it to, let's say, 1 pixel solid. Color, let's see, let's take. Okay, you can see all this in right now. We'll get to it when we get to the JavaScript. Okay, let's see, we have, let's get something for the last child row, right? We'll have to reset the space we have added. Task box, task, last child. For the last child, we'll increase margin bottom. We'll reset everything. Margin bottom to 0, padding bottom to 0 again, and again 0, and again bottom. Oh, sorry for that. And again, reset the border bottom to 0. Okay, then I think we are good for the tasks. Looking forward to see we have tables for the tasks. Yes, task box, and then add a flex display. Align items to the center. Let's send it to the flex start. Have inputs, different inputs we will take for the lists. To-do list we are doing. We have here resources to learn this. Okay, you will get the code to our GitHub resource repositories. Go and follow our organization there. You'll find the whole code to it. We'll update it once we complete the JavaScript part. But for now, we'll be uploading only HTML and CSS. Okay, let's see. Must label, right? Can you share this code? Yes, we'll be sharing on our GitHub repository. And again, use the accent color. P for the P, we'll use in this use a select set, use a select, go to the none, and then add some margin and padding are your key. Add some margin of 12 pixels. We'll need to align the clear all button. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Let's add a word wrap to breakword. Yes, breakword. I hope I could explain every point, but okay. Label. I have to check the JavaScript for it because everything will be depend on how JavaScript will be designing. Expectation line through. Some position, let's say relative position. Yep. We're adding some if conditions. Let's see, settings, class, settings, if, where, I tag and list index. Change the cursor to pointer. Tap. Okay, so settings. We'll use the Z index. What is Z index? Z index is the alignment in Z axis, like layers of the elements. Let's see, Z index 10. Let's some background of a little white shade. Then absolute positioning, position absolute, 4 pixels of border radius. Okay, this will be enough, I guess. Let's go for the showing menu, task menu. Show, and we'll scale its transformation by, let's take by 1. Nothing much. Okay, then list, there will be another list. So targeting list index, task menu, list index. Let's add a height of 25 pixels. keep it normal, 16 pixels, and margin bottom, I guess. How much should I add? 2 pixels, not much. Don't need padding. But let's add a cursor. Cursor, change it to pointer, and justify content. Click start. Okay, we can add some hover actions or some actions for the last child or more to that. But let's skip it for now. I'll update it in the GitHub section. Everyone is getting? We are just about to finish this. Let's add some padding for the index. It is settings. This index I section. Add it here, and padding right. 8 pixels. Second, now we just need to align the button we created. Let's reduce the letter spacing to default. Okay. If you're stuck somewhere, just inspect the page, see where it can go wrong or it can be aligned wrong. Go with the wrapper, can go with the controls. Okay, then let's see controls. Okay. Okay, I guess we are good to go. It's looking good. It's looking really good. All the indexes will be aligned behind this. Okay, I guess we are done with the page. How is it looking, guys? Tell me in the comments how is it looking. Just one file. I'll tell you. Wait, I'll comment out the CSS file. See, with just one file, we went from this to this. Great, awesome. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, for your assignment, I would really like you to search for the media queries. Media queries make your website look responsive. It will change all your classes and their properties according to your viewport height and width. Yes, okay, then I'll stop the sharing. Just a second. Do we have any question? Yep, CSS is really a magic trick to the HTML. Okay. Okay, now I'll hand over the mic to Tejasri.
Thank you, Sarvesh. And now it's follow-up time. So we'll be sharing some learning resources of these technologies on our Insta page, for which link is being provided in the chat box and in the description box. Also, you can join our WhatsApp group by the link provided in the description box below. So connect with us, guys.
Now, the next event is going to take you to another level. Next event is all about JavaScript and Angular. As you can see, the JavaScript and Angular event is going to be on 9th May, so don't forget to tune in. And I think the names sound scary, but don't you worry. This session will also be fun as this session was. So stay tuned and don't forget to join us in the next event as well. Moving ahead for our Q&A session. So you guys, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comment section.
Feel free to ask questions, guys.
Yes.
We are here to answer your questions. We are waiting, guys.
Reminding me of Flutter Festival. I know even Flutter Festival was a great success because of enthusiastic participants like you guys. It reminds me of Flutter Festival as well.
Thank you, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hurry up,
Okay,
guys.
so
We are waiting.
yeah. So the resources will be shared on our WhatsApp group. The link for our WhatsApp group is in the description. So you can go there. All the resources will be shared there.
And the link is given below in the chat box.
Guys, if you want to access this code, the whole code is updated on GitHub. So you can go there and check out the code for the reference. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for joining as well.
Thank you, guys.
I know CSS is such a magic trick.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. The GitHub link is shared. You can just access code from there.
Okay, guys, what a session it was. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. I really appreciate your presence. And don't forget at all to join us in our next sessions as well. Until then, good evening and have a great day ahead. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.